You guessed it, it's time to shine. Let's make this bike frame look like brand new or close to it, because we'll still have a few chips. But other than that, the rest of the paint is going to be immaculate. Oh yes, we're going to give it its auto, oh wait, not auto detailing. Oh wait, we are using auto detailing products to make frames like this shine. As with buffing pads and so forth, just like cars. You know, cycling industry hasn't really dived into this in a sense. Well, a little bit. They dabbled. Some bike lube companies will make I guess tools and what was that stuff called, bike lust, which is basically just almost a hair above furniture polish. In any case, we're going to use a little bit better quality stuff to show you how to do detailing. But this particular frame, Condor from England, hand built, is kind of a nice little unique gem for me, because we don't usually see these in the neck of the woods. And it has a little bit of a boo-boo area we gotta address. Yes, aluminum frames, they don't rust, but they do corrode. I know, it kind of sounds weird, right? But we'll get into that in a few minutes here. But let's review and start getting this thing all detailed and ready for its new owner. Yeah, this is in for a tune-up, and it's needed its guy's magic tune-up to get this thing rolling. Got the parts behind me all ready to go on it, just to get the frame ready to catch up and get back on the road. Yeah, let's dive into this after this.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy. Hi, I'm Justin the Guy. Obviously I have a garage shop. Take scary out of used, one bike at a time. If you want to be kept up to date on latest projects and topics, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, it's taking scary out of used, one bike at a time. Yeah, this scenario is pretty true and dear to my heart, because I've been basically refurbishing road bikes and various other bikes for the last, 5 years now. And I've been in the cycling industry for over 35, going on 35. Wow. Any case, let's start that back up again. Well, anyway, we're going to do some detailing of this. I got the parts here all laid out. They're all sonic clean, lubed up and ready to go. Nothing really too scary with the wheels. Got some ceramic coating on that. We're going to be actually detailing this frame, and also we're going to actually address a boo-boo area where sometimes it happens to aluminum frames. I've had this happen a couple times on other frames that are refurbished. And aluminum, yeah, it doesn't rust, but it does have like a corrosion type property to it if it gets exposed to the elements. Yes, aluminum frames usually have a treatment. Like back in the day, GT would have ball burnish frames, which is, I think they throw them a vat of ball bearings, and it kind of smooths out the surface and prevents any kind of water or what have you to go into the pores. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time what I've meant or known what the Kool-Aid of GT and ball and burnish was, so comment that below if you want to correct me, which is fine. Also, a lot of the polished aluminum frames, you'll notice there's a clear coat on it, which is actually for protection. Well, with aluminum frames, sometimes that water and contaminants gets underneath that paint or that protective coating, and what happens, it'll kind of bubble up that paint, and that's what we have here on the bottom bracket shell area when I start taking everything apart and going, whoa. And this is a hand-built bike from England, which it was written in England or somewhere very humidity. That kind of corrosion I've seen on aluminum frames are like a lot of humidity areas or by the salt water. So any of those like big triathlons, like the Ironman Hawaii and all that, those bikes are not necessarily all just getting wrecked by the rider themselves. Also, ocean spray is nobody's good friend when it has to come to metal parts. Any case, back to this frame. We're probably just gonna focus on that particular part on this segment of it. And yeah, I'm gonna do a little peeling away the bad paint and treating the area by cleaning and polishing. And from there, I'm going to make a decision factor if it's going to be cute enough to have a polished aluminum and do a clear coat spray, or should I try to touch it up to match the red that it's beautifully come with, or should I use some boo-boo stickers? We'll see. Any case, we're going to take a look at this and clean that particular bottom bracket area up and kind of see what we can do to make sure it doesn't do it. Luckily enough, whatever I do to this bike, it's not going to be an eyesore because it's hidden underneath, you guessed it, this thing, the crank. So when you're hearing this going chicka, 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 you're not going to really notice in the paint job that's going to be on the back side of this area here. So Any case, I'm going an extra mile on this particular tune-up because, you know, it's one of those things I've come across before, and I haven't had opportunity to make a, to tell you about it because, it happens. And with aluminum, you can just clean it and polish it and do a little clear coating. That's kind of cool. With steel frames, not so much the case because that corrosion, you have to actually grind that down. Hint in case, I still have a Le Mans frame hanging behind me that the bottom chromolite portion was riddled with a whole bunch of rust. And I've been spending once a month, I'll just grind on it for a while and then get burned out and throw it back up there. One of these days, I'll finish that because we got all these other things to do in lieu of that. Any case, so let's get focused. And I'm going to be using some Adams polishes to kind of clean and correct the area to show it as an example. Once I figure out maybe a little bit of showing of the paint, if I do that paint, I do have red, so we'll see if this works. This is from a auto store, so it should work fine. I matched it up with a Trek red, which looks very similar. If not, I'll take some nail polish and wipe it off and put something else on there, or maybe just have it shiny with a clear coat. But without further ado, let's dive into this little project and see how we come out on the other end. I'm kind of nervous now. It's not my bike. Ooh, scary, scary, scary. Dive into it. You like my shirt? I didn't realize that the heartbeats would be right over my pec, so if I'm Terry Crews, I can do a heartbeat back and forth. Oh, actually turning out. I'm no Terry Crews. And that's like a layer of chubbiness over whatever what used to be muscle. So, but yeah, if you like shirts like this, yeah, you'll see a shelf shirt, coffee mugs, whatever, underneath. All the designs are from my mother-in-law. She makes all these cute designs and sells shirts. And actually, I'm gonna save a little money up for her to send her to Vegas with my wife so they can go have a good time. So, in any case, back to get to. Oh, I'm trying. Okay. All right, back to the frame. All right, so let's get a little close up on this. So what I'm talking about is this little area here in the bond bracket. And these are the bond bracket cups. So it's still pretty dirty. I really haven't cleaned it too much, but I noticed this particular area is compromised. So we're going to start picking at it and see what we find under this bubbling of the paint. So yes, I'm starting to use eye protection, but I realized polishes were popping into my eyeballs, and I wanted to make sure I don't have any problem there. So start a little test. And you see it's kind of like an ash white. And that's you can see kind of just flakes off. And you can see the bubbling here. Same thing here. Do you think it's like, oh, is that the clear coat? Nope, it sure is not. That's actually something that's kind of corroding. The reason I know that for sure is you look in this area here where the cable came through. That's where we're getting that kind of gunk in there. So we're going to definitely try to give this a good cleaning and maybe cut away at the area here to where it's good paint. The one I've done before, oh, there we go. One I did before, it's like almost flaked off with my fingernail. And you want to get this all cleaned out. It's kind of like skin cancer. You want to like cut around so where you got good contact or good connection with the good paint, and from there you can proceed to polish and that kind of thing. You just see how it just kind of bubbles out. Now I'll try to make it a decent like shape so it doesn't look like some weird topo map of horror alien abduction or something. So I want to definitely kind of, so it looks like it did have a kind of a white clear coat as I'm starting to get to the actual paint portion. But you can see this is, and you can see it kind of traveling all the way across the other side. And on the top here, where it's connected to the carbon and all that is fine. I mean, that's not a problem whatsoever. This booger, this definitely needs to be, I might take a little file in there to see if I can clean up the cable hole, but let's see, it goes all the way down in this area here. So we're going to try to cut a line. Oh. And just pick it off where, like so. See, a raw aluminum is not shiny, right? So once I hit it with the polishing pads, I'll polish up to a nice high shine. We'll take a look at it and assess if that's what we want to do. But I'm going to get a better angle for myself and kind of clean this up. And then we'll hit it with probably a 3000 grit pad first. And I might have to hand do it because this is an angle where my Dremel tool can't get to. So I'll probably do that. And then we'll proceed with the scratch and swirl from Adams, a compound from Adams, a polish from Adams, and see if we can get that all cleaned up. And then we'll assess what we want to do with paint, or just leave it as, or we do some boo-boo stickers and see if we kind of cover that area up. But we want to definitely cover that up with something. So even if it's just a polished up with a clear coat, that's better than nothing, and that'll prevent it from eating more of that paint up. You know, again, it's not going to cause the frame to crack or fall apart, but it's just going to continue to grow. So we would definitely want to get that all cut out. Although on steel frames, that is a big issue because that's where you're getting problems. And also need to remove these cups to get them out of the way so I can just get a clean contact on that. So I'm looking on the bottom here, and we're okay on the bottom. It looks good. That's good. So bottom's good, top's funky, but yeah, we're going to proceed from here. Yeah. So will this be 6 eyes or 8 eyes? Anyway. So we're using 3000 cloth, or it's kind of foam backed sandpaper. I find this actually in the auto detailing section at Walmart or some other places that you may get your auto detailing stuff from. So this is where, instead of using a high speed Dremel, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to use that much of it here, I'm just going to do the first wave, see if I can get that to kind of clean up. And what I'm trying to do is just make that area where the paint meets the aluminum, it's just smooth down, really is what I'm trying to do. So if I do decide to paint this section, it might be a little bit of a smoother transition, so it's not so aggressive there. Yeah, you can see it's already starting to shine up pretty good. So some elbow grease in here. Hopefully we'll, yeah, got me some shine. All right, let's see. I'm going to try to hit it with a Dremel, see if I can get on that edge. Nope. Not happening. The angle, just not happening. So we're gonna Just gonna do this by hand. So here we have the final result. Not perfect, but a lot better than it was. We'll see how after I polish this bad boy up. I haven't done anything else to the frame yet, so let's dive into that. Do some compound work and polishing, and then finish it off with some ceramic coating and make this frame pop. So yeah, let's just dive right into this. Get this thing done. All right. Let's just dive into this, right? Gonna start off with the first cleaning using Purple Power diluted about 50-50 and wipe down the frame, get a good little cleaning there. Then we'll proceed to maybe use a little bit of scratch and swirl in a couple areas and then dive into the actual compound polish and then the ceramic coating. But actually we'll just do, this pretty much just dive in what we need to do to get her done, right? This is detailing frame 101 and with a little bit of correction of the paint underneath, which is going to be covered up by the crank. So being red, it's not going to be any kind of a visual catching eye on a particular frame. So just figure I'd do a little touch up there and get the rest of this bike up to speed. Without further ado, let's dive into this. Well, there we have it. We did a little bit of sanding with the 3000 3M pad paper type thing for the grinder, just to get some of those clear coat scratches, chips buffed a little bit better. Then followed up with a scratch and swirl from Adams with a wool pad, which kind of helps even make it even more smooth. And then we added the compound that kind of corrects the paint as much as possible, and then followed up with polish. Well, the polish has made the bread just pop, and it's super clean looking. And even my little area that I corrected doesn't, basically you wouldn't even notice if I didn't point it out to you, which is part of the plan, right? So yeah, it has a few little chips on there, but nothing really that sticks out to be worrisome. It's just, badges of honor of being ridden. But the rest of the paint is being cleaned to the point where it's like super polished, right? So I can't ask for more for considering, being 15 years or older bike, and it's still in really good shape. The componentry worked out pretty good. We're going to throw on some ceramic coating right now, and what I like to use is You get these little pads. You get them on, Walmart or Amazon. I like these ones because they're more pliable, that kind of thing, and they're only like $2-3 for a set of two. Then I like to proceed with a ceramic slam. But before that, I almost made a major boo-boo. We want to clean off the surface with a clean towel, or you can use a fiber cloth towel. I use the lithium all-purpose, all-surface hyper clean. Reason being is I want to pull up any kind of remaining oils, chemicals I've been cleaning with, polishes, that kind of thing. Just make sure I have a clean surface to apply that ceramic coating, and doesn't have to be super intense. Just a good wipe down, and it'll pretty much dry in a very quick fashion. Then I can start applying that ceramic coating, which I'm going to be using lithium's ceramic slam on this one, and I'm going to do a 2-stack. So what that means is I'm going to apply a coating, and then I'm going to wait 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm going to apply a second coating. And what that does is enable me to make sure that I got the whole bike frame covered at least once. And I like to go over it twice anyway, so it almost covers it 4 times, but double and doubles, 2 stacks, that kind of thing. So I take my little pliable pad here, and I got a little left. I got another backup bottle if I need it. This will kind of pool up at first. I just put like 3 or 4 squirts in the middle. Then I kind of just massage in the pad a little bit, using clean gloves of course, and then I just apply this layer. And you'll see the shine on it. Then it'll dry to a dull. And after it dries to a dull, and give it a few more minutes, then it's ready to be wiped off. Then you repeat the process. And you can see I'm just hitting each tube at a time, trying to get all angles. And then I get to a point I feel like I need to add a little bit more. Light is polite. I mean, you don't have to overly saturate your pad. You're just wasting ceramic coating. And you could use other brands too. The other brands I've used as well is Adams polishes. They seem to work pretty well too. And they also have what they call a flash point. A flash point is when that drying is, and not maybe the case there. So I'm getting this good. Going to go over it twice to make sure, and kind of over exaggerate my wiping on all the tubing. So I'm going to be wiping the other direction on the opposite side, and get the seat stays good, the chain stays, bottom bracket shell area. And I like to add a little extra underneath. Under parts is where all the gunk kicks up, right? So when you're riding and so forth, that's the area where a lot of those contaminants, road tar, what have you, and if you have that ceramic coating on there, it's going to help you rinse and clean those areas. So, and again, going to just start with the top tube, both sides, get underneath, kind of head tube, head badge. And this is also good on stems, rubber parts, plastic parts. It's just, that's fine. It's just on the brake surfaces, you want to make sure you wipe off and clean. But other than that, it works pretty well. And what this will do is add, you got UV protection and water shedding properties, which really tightens up that bead, water beads. And I'm really going to coat this area where I touched up, so give that a little extra coating to prevention. And any areas other than that will hopefully capsulize those little chips and areas like that and prevent them from, again, you guessed it, corrosion. Even though aluminum doesn't rust, it can get underneath there and cause that corrosion type thing. So, all right, here we go. Second swipe on this side, and that should get a good 1 stack. Then I apply it again, doing the same process as you're seeing here. And what that'll do is ensure that all the areas got covered at least a couple times, if not more. And then we can proceed to wipe it off and then reassemble the bike. I do have a video on this where you don't need to disassemble it to this point to do those things, to get that all done. You can just take the wheels off and kind of work around the bits that are already on there, or floss it using kind of a cloth as well, or fiber cloth, in addition to this pad design, and that'll pretty much give you the coating and protection that you need. So there we have it. Yeah, this bike is going to be pretty immaculate. It's a little, I mean, I wouldn't say rough, but it's had some use, and we're going to get it back to close to new quality as we can, being a used bike. And this individual that bought this bike bought it used, and we're going to be doing a fitting and all that afterwards. But in any case, I'm protecting the frame and the wheels, did the ceramic coating on the wheels as well, and then we're going to proceed onto the parts and so forth. But in any case, that's going to be the stopping point here on the detailing, but I'll show you the beautiful pictures after it's all wiped down after this. But thank you for hanging out with me in the garage. Until next time, have a wonderful day. All the information's in the descriptions below, that kind of stuff. And if you have detailed tips that you do either on your car, on your bikes, or what have you, that might help out the community, slam those down in the comments. That'd be awesome. But in any case, get out there for a ride if it's nice in your neighborhoods. And again, thank you for hanging out in the garage. Until next time.